Welcome to Shor Machshava on the Daf. We're holding in Menachos Daf Tzadik. And in Wood Base, the Mishnah tells us the Kol HaKorbanos Te'unim Nesachim. All the Korbanos require Nesachim, which means the wine that comes with the Korbanos, except the ones that come as a Chayva, including a Bechor. Now the Sefer Drushim called Shmeina Lachmoi, which was written by Osher Anshel, in Drushim Lehesped Perek Ches, he brings that the idea of Nesachim is when you have a korban, or you bring a korban to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so you need to add to the korban the wine which is Nesachim. This is a remiss to the fact that when an Adam kosher dies, it's considered to be a korban. Any Adam who dies, he gets closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and something is missing here in the world, that's equivalent to a korban. Crying an Adam kosher, someone who has tears in Adam kosher, the tears are equivalent to Nesachim. So he brings, there is a minhag that's brought down the Kol Boy in Siman Kuf Yudalet, and the B'S Yosef and Yerideh Siman Shenayin Dalet quotes it, and so the Ramah over there brings it. The minhag is that if Lo Yaleinu, somebody loses his first child, a Bechor, he does not have a velus on the first child. So the B'S Yosef and the Ramah brings is the minhag tos. What's the marker of this minhag? The Kol Boy quotes it, says the reason there's no avelus on a Bechor, because the Bechor is Gedoshim LaHashem, the Kaddish to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and therefore there's no avelus on them. So the Shmeina Lachmoi says that according to what he learned with the drasha, that Nesachim are referring to the tears that you have on Adam Kosher who died, our Mishnah says there's no Nesachim on a Bechor. So that's a remez that there's no avelus on a Ben Bechor. And the Shmeina Lachmoi goes on to say that that's the pshat. The Gemara tells us that anybody who's moirid mois Adam Kosher, Kadosh Baruch Hu soifro and Menachos and Beis Ganozo. Kadosh Baruch Hu counts them. Why does the Kadosh Baruch Hu have to count them? So he says, because it's brought down that Misa Tzadik is equivalent to Churban Beis Hamikdash. And in Churban Beis Hamikdash, the Malachim cried, it says, Malach HaShoros Mar Yivkion. So someone who cries on a Tzadik who dies is connected to the crying that you have in Beis Hamikdash. But we have a din, Ein Me'arvim Nesachim and Nesachim. You're not allowed to mix Nesachim together. So you're not allowed to mix the Dmois together. So how do you make sure they don't get mixed up? Says the Shmeina Lachmoi, that's why it says that Kadosh Baruch Hu counts the Dmois. Davar Shehu Manu, something which is counted is not botel. So that's how he brings the idea, the concept of Nesachim. Reb Chaim Falaji, in his Sefer Nefesh Chaim, Mareches Hey, he brings this, and he says that they made fun on this pshat, because there's no Nesachim in a korban tzibur. And if the whole idea of Nesachim is the demois that you have on a korban, why should you not have Nesachim in a korban tzibur? That's not so clear what the Reb Chaim Falaji means, because we learned in our sugya the korban tzibur does require Nesachim. So what does he mean the korban tzibur doesn't have Nesachim? So in the Sefer Hodor Yaakov, he says, Reb Chaim Falaji is referring to korban chatas ve'osham. Chatas ve'osham come to kapara, and there's no nesachim by chatas ve'osham. But if nesachim is like the tears that you have in a korban on a tzaddik who's nifter, why would you not have nesachim in a chatas ve'osham? But Kolpanim, the Sefer Pnei Yitzchok explains that if the din of nesachim is like the demois on an adam who's nifter, that's why it's so important to cry. Like the Gemara that the Shmeina Lachmoi brings, that crying is when HaKadosh Baruch Hu counts the cry. And the Gemara in Shabbos says that Rav told Shmuel bar Shilas that he should make people cry in his hesped. What's the idea of crying so much? But if the crying is the Nesachim, the same way the Korbanos require Nesachim, the Misa of a Tzaddik, the Misa of Adam Kosher, requires the crying in order for the Korban to be miskabel. And he brings more, that's why it says that only after the Kavura comes the cry. Why only after the Kavura comes the cry? Because only in the Kavura, that's the end of the korban. Because the Kapara comes after the Kavura. And because the Nesachim come at the time of the korban, so also the crying should come at the time of the Kavura. Anyone who wants to sponsor or join the Shor Machshava Shiurim, please email shormachshava@gmail.com.